Welcome to Modern Farm Business Podcast. This podcast is designed to help the farm leader bring their business to the next level. We'll cover everything from leadership and finance to strategy and planning. I'm your host, Dean Hefta. There was a time where it may have felt that success in farming was tied to being able to outwork everyone else. Whoever could put in the longest days, could be the most productive, and raise the best crop was going to succeed. But now more than ever, just as in the rest of our economy, farming has become a business of relationships. Today we're talking about the principles that drive the relationship engine of our business and tools that you can use right away. So first, what made relationships so important in today's business? Well, the reality is that relationships have always been important. From the settlement of the prairie, the most important currency we had was our ability to build trusting relationships. Who can we dare to buy cattle from? Getting the feed store to extend credit to us. Relying on a neighbor when we need an extra hand. All of these things that needed to happen for the farm to succeed rely on the relationships we're able to build. Over time, though, we became less reliant on our neighbors and on our relationships. We had enough equipment that we could be self-sufficient. There were enough buyers of our commodities. We didn't need to know people upstream. We got busy enough with our own business, we lost connection with our neighbors. But an interesting thing is happening today with technology that's providing a tremendous competitive advantage opportunity for the people that are willing to engage. We're now able to build relationship and community in ways that we've not been able to do before. And this means bringing different thinking and habits than we've ever had in our business. Let's start with this question. What have been the most influential and instrumental relationships for you to get where you are today? Who are the 5 most important people that you think of when you think of people that have impacted you? Was it a parent? A coach, a teacher, a neighbor, your spouse, a good friend? Until we take a minute to reflect, we can think of ourselves as being kind of self-made. But more often than not, it's other people that have had a hand in giving us the opportunity, directing our path, sharing honest feedback, or helping us when we're in need. In reality, the odds of our success is closely linked to the size and strength of our relationships. Our ability to invest in others, to meet new people that open us to new ideas and opportunities, the community mindset that adds meaning to the things that we build and do. You've thought about who is there as a part of where you are today. Let's look at where you want to go with your business and life. When you peer into the next few years, your role is ultimately one of building relationships. Whether you own a farm or you're a manager at a car dealership, we might get hung up on looking at the newest technology or learning about the next innovation, but all of those things are just tools. We get to those innovations through our network. We learn about technology through the people that we talk with. We're introduced to great opportunities because others think of us. When I look around me, I see over and over the impact of being able to meet wonderful people, to have inspiring people willing to invest in me and the opportunities that I've been afforded through great relationships. When I look at the lives of the most successful people I know, a common thread of strong relationships and a great network is consistent. Inside that success, there are 4 behaviors that I see frequently, and I've grouped them into the letters G.A.I.T, or GAIT. I think it's an appropriate acronym, as our gait is our manner of walking. These behaviors describe our manner of how we can best move forward in our relationships. Let's get started. The first one, the G, is give freely. Some hold a perception that rich people are greedy, selfish, and tight-fisted. But what's interesting is that for many of the most successful, they're the most giving people that I know. They freely share their time, their money, their wisdom, or whatever they can to help another person out. They do it without the expectation of being paid or even thanked. They don't keep score. They simply know that right is right and that we're social creatures, and whatever we can do to care and support for each other, they want to be able to do it. Inside our communities, we are continually building a brand. And I don't mean the new age social media, present yourself to the world as being perfect kind of brand. A brand is simply what people think of when they hear your name. It's your reputation. You know the person in your neighborhood that everyone knows. Don't buy anything from him. He's a crook. That's his brand. Our brand, our reputation is built on the little things that we do over the arc of time. You need to borrow my tractor for a day? Go ahead. No, you don't need to pay me. Need help one afternoon lifting some siding on your house? I'll be there. Can we sincerely recognize that being a part of a community and building a network isn't about keeping score and settling every debt every day? Now, like any behavior, this can be taken too far. I've seen people who are so generous with their time, they have none left for themselves. I've seen people who give their things so openly, they have nothing left of their own. Giving freely requires maturity and wisdom to recognize the difference between people in need that might not even be asking for help and people who are too eager to take advantage of their generosity. To give well, you have to be sure you're keeping your own house in order first. The second one, the A, is to ask humbly. In our self-sufficient world, one of the hardest things to do is to ask for help. Many of us would rather struggle and toil than swallow our pride and admit we need help to do something, or that we're willing to inconvenience somebody else when they're busy. But Ben Franklin recognized something interesting. He noted that one of the best ways to build a relationship was to ask a person a favor. There was a gentleman that he, quite frankly, had a poor relationship with, and he wanted to improve it. What he did was counterintuitive. He wrote to that man asking if he could borrow a book that he knew that this man owned, saying that he had always wanted to read it and he hoped that this man would extend him the favor to lend him that book. And by asking this favor, it endeared Ben to this man, flattered him that someone like Ben Franklin would be humble enough to recognize he had something that Ben wanted. Think about it in our life. That person that maybe you only know from a distance, they reach out, maybe seek your advice on something or ask to borrow something. Maybe they want to talk with you in an area that you have expertise. What's that relationship like the next time you see each other? It's different, and I bet it's stronger. Asking for help or advice demonstrates humility on our part to others. It shows that we don't have it all, we don't know it all, and we can't do it all on our own. It's how we show our humanity, and it opens the door to a different kind of relationship. Now, in asking for favors or for help, we have responsibilities. If we borrow something, bring it back as good or better than you found it. A couple of years ago, I borrowed a post hole digger. Before I returned it, I gave it a fresh paint job and reconditioned the wood handles. If you borrow a tractor, clean the windows and top off the tank before you bring it back. I want the reputation that when I borrow something, it's going to come back quickly and in better shape than when I got it. Third one, the I, is invest deliberately. This is looking at your business or your life and recognizing where your relationship may be lacking. Maybe it's people that you used to be close with that you need to rekindle. Maybe there's some expertise that you want to develop and you want to foster some relationships with people that you can learn from. Could be you want to learn a new woodworking technique. Your best bet is to find out who's the best person around to learn from and build a relationship with them. Relationships are opportunities for us to give into. As author Harvey Mackay wrote, dig your well before you're thirsty. It could be stopping in to check on a landlord and helping them with some chores in the yard. Maybe it's giving a call to a friend you've drifted away from. Investing is the action we take for others. This is not our intention. Oh, I was going to give you a call. We don't get points for intentions, only for actions. So what can you do today to rekindle an old relationship or foster a new one that you'd like to have? Now, I discourage the super networker behavior. When it comes to meeting people and building connections, people can sense if your intention is only to gain something or get an advantage. People will see through it and sense this transactional nature of the relationship. The final one, the fourth one, the T, is to thank generously. Appreciation costs nothing, but it can be the first thing we forget as we're so hurried to get on to the next thing. We forget to thank our team, our suppliers, our neighbors, and our friends. A sincere thank you can go a long way. Maybe it's a phone call to them. It could be taking a moment at a meeting to recognize someone who's done an exceptional job. Perhaps you're traveling and you see the perfect antique for your friend who collects Coca-Cola memorabilia, and you want to thank him for the help he gave you on a landscaping project. It's the intentionality that shows you are important. What you did matters. I appreciate you. If you want an easier way to structure an impactful thank you, use these 3 parts. The first is name what they did, then acknowledge the cost to them, and then share the impact that they had. Here's an example. Thank you for helping me install my new window in the house. I know you had a lot of other projects that needed your attention on that Saturday, but because of your expertise, we were able to enjoy our family get-together the next day. Thank you. So there you have G.A.I.T. for tending to your relationships. Give freely, ask humbly, invest deliberately, and thank generously. Our most important role as leaders is to build strong, trusting relationships. And I hope there are some insights in today's episode that will help you do just that. At Water Street Solutions, we understand the power of strong relationships. If you want to learn how leadership, expertise, and technology come together to help our clients with their farm business systems, give us a call at 866-249-2528 or visit waterstreetconsulting.com.